Greetings and salutations, my name is Badger, and I am joined by three people this time for the Badger and Redondo review, episode number 4. I am joined by usual co-host Redondo. How you doing, sir?
Well, man, how are you?
I'm doing great as always. I am joined by two different offlaners. The first one is a first-time RD2L player. And actually to step up to being captain this year, I am joined here by Autoattacks. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, thanks.
And the other guy I'm joined by is also a first-season RD12 player, to the best of my knowledge. Awful and offlane player, but how you doing tonight, Alpaca?
I'm doing well.
It's great to hear. So, since I have so many offlane players on here, the first topic I want to talk about is just offlaners in general in the RD2L. I want to ask all of you, who is the best offlaner in this division?
Me.
That's a hard question, honestly.
I think it's a loaded question when you're talking to three of the top three offlaners, so it's going to be tough. I think you kind of got to pick one of not us, because I don't know them very well, so I haven't played with them a lot, and I haven't played with Subject a lot either, and I think he's the other guy that's in the discussion, so I know last week I said Shay, or I think we said Shay, Zam and I.
I think we collectively did say Shay, but
yeah, he's got kind of a weird offlane pool where he plays a bit more carry shit in RD12, because he's kind of gotten to the point where instead of playing the traditional offlaners, he'll play stuff like Phantom Assassin and forces supports to come help him. I don't think he's ever going to play Bat Rider, for example. Whereas Autoattacks played Bat Rider this week, so I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's a hard question in general. What do you judge it by? How well you can do in a solo lane, or
I think I would just judge it off of, I mean, obviously it depends who you're asking, but I would judge it off of overall ability in the offlane to both do well in the lane as well as win your games.
Yeah, I don't know. I played Shea Doctor last week, and I mean, he had one game where he was playing PA with Lich, like you said. Then the second game, I don't even remember what he played. I think he's a good player. I don't know. I haven't seen him go off or anything, so it's hard to talk about that.
Yeah, it's really hard to judge, especially if you're an offlaner. There's always a chance that you're against a tri-lane you just can't really do anything against.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
you call for your 4 position to come down there so that you don't die repeatedly.
Yeah, it's mostly how loud of an offlane player are you, is what it comes down to.
That's actually a topic I want to talk about, though, because my offlaner, Watts, he's having some pretty good games, but he has some particular problems with 1v3 scenarios. What do you guys do in a 1v3 scenario? Alpaca?
Well, you just gotta, try to get some experience somehow. A lot of people say this, but, if you have to die to get your level 2, then so be it, The worst case scenario of being in the offlane is having to sit under your tower and staying level 1 for the first 5 minutes of the game. That's the absolute worst case scenario. It is better to feed them 3 kills and get your level 3 than to do that. So I think you just gotta suck it up sometimes and scrounge some experience.
You can always just go for some creep wave pulls as well.
Yeah, and that's
3 minutes in, just hopefully they don't have a lane ward on the high ground. It's on the lane instead.
Yeah,
and just run through your shrine, run over, grab the creep wave.
I tried that one time in RD12 so far. It was in a scrim and I died, so it was depressing. I did it against a Naga who just ran me down and murdered me with an oof. So it was tough.
You can pull near tier 1s, or you could do the extreme route and go all the way to their tier 3 and just grab creeps there. And if you do that at the beginning of the game, you can literally just pull them up until your TP's off cooldown, and then just TP back to your tower, and you're going to double wave yourself. So there's a bunch you can do with that.
Yeah, I think that that's added such a weird dynamic to playing offlane now. I haven't really gotten into it because I'm a bit more traditional. Like you said, I think dying's really overrated in the offlane. It's really not a big deal. I think as long as you're dying to 3 people instead of 2, dying doesn't matter at all, because you're the rest of the map plays as a 4v2, so theoretically you should be winning 2 of those lanes.
Yeah.
And then you just like gotta trust yourself and the ability to play from behind, which is why I think a support player like myself is super good, because I'm pretty good at making an impact without my items.
I have an interesting question though, since I have multiple offlane Tiny players here. What is your impact on some more unconventional heroes, such as Tiny in the offlane?
Well, the reason that Tiny offlane became such a good thing, I think, is because of his tree grab and his ability to, like, if supports leave the lane, you can deny and CS like to your heart's content because you hit for like over 100 damage, and the carry just has to sit there and watch you killing all the creeps. Like, you can't do anything about it. So
I would argue that if the supports are there, you still can CS and deny to your heart's content.
Yeah. Like, you can secure range creeps with tosses or throwing your tree. It's just, I don't know. I think it's a really solid offlane hero.
Especially the change to make it so that you get the 5 attacks on the tree instead of it scaling upwards.
Yeah, that's a huge
change. It means that you can get a soul ring and then you start spamming toss later on too on the enemy carry.
Yeah, what's your guys' skill build?
I don't play offlane Tiny. I just know the theory.
It's usually you either start with toss or your tree grab, and then you go 0-2-1, and then into like 1-2-1, then get your ulti, and then max your toss.
You 100% get tree level 1. So like I get tree. I've tried tossing my own creeps into like into the creep wave and shit. Like, I'm not a big fan of it. If you get tree level 1, what you do is before the rune spawns, you go and you like beat the shit out of a support. And then they start the lane with half health, and you start the lane with like 90% health. And then you like, as you're running away, you toss your tree at them.
Yeah, but if you have a position 4 that can do something with your toss back, then it's a free kill. That's why you should be wary of it. Because like, say you have a clockwork 4 or something, you toss someone back into that, that's just dead. Like on any pretty much. Yeah. And then that'll get you your level 2. So then you have your level 2 from that.
That is.
So it's a situation.
So another less conventional offlaner we've been seeing as well recently is Dragon Knights. I mean, Autoattacks, you just played it earlier today. What are your thoughts on offlane Dragon Knight, and why is it good?
I'm pretty shit at it, so I played it twice. In both games, I've died quite a bit, but generally, you're just super fucking tanky. So it's hard for them to kill you without investing a lot of resources. And then you're just going to breathe fire spam with Soul Ring until you hit level 6. And then when you hit level 6, your supports come to the lane, and you take tower, you kill the enemy carry, you do whatever you want, because you've got so much damage coming out from the Dragon Form poison attack.
Yeah, the thing about DK is, like, not only is he tanky, but because of breathe fire, you can pressure the carry if the supports leave the lane. So he requires attention from the enemy supports. Because, like, say you're a melee carry trying to CS that lane, you just get breathe fired, and then all of a sudden he's denying every creep.
Yeah, I'm dog shit at that hero too.
It's kind of like Brewmaster, you know? You just blind the carry until they want to kill themselves.
Let me ask you, though, one final offlane question is, what other hero do you think that's currently not played in the offlane that will become an offlaner, either now or very soon?
Ooh.
Maybe not.
Let's see.
I need the hero pool.
Someone who can pressure the carry, because that's kind of the trend of the offlaners right now. Force the supports to stay bot. I mean, who knows? I'm a fan of offlane Spirit Breaker, but, you know, no one agrees with me on that.
Attack time.
I used to like playing Jakiro offlane a lot.
Yeah, that's situational, but I think it's really good.
I don't think it's super good right now because I think it's like such a good 5, but I think Jakiro offlane's pretty good. I miss the days of being able to play like Morana all the time. Those were good.
You know, as the only safe lane player here, actually, I have one more question. When will you guys stop ruining my Dota games?
As soon as the supports just go mid again.
Oh god, get the offlaners out of my lane. They keep killing me.
Just put an extra creep mid, and then all the supports go mid again, and then I can be 1v1 in long lanes again.
No. No more. I have like so much PTSD from 6.85 and the 5 creeps middle and all these different patches where I've been destroyed in lane by offlaners. That said, though, we are going to jump away from the offlane itself to now last week's games. First series I want to talk about is, we're going to call it the elephant in the room. That is the Autoattacks versus, in air quotes, Ryle series. Autoattacks What are your thoughts on the series you played last week?
Well, so... Yeah, so we started out with Riles not being able to play because his internet was fucked. Okay, so I kind of want to get into my team thing here a little bit, just to give some background on this.
Go for it, sure.
We're kind of getting into the Zoidberg thing by even talking about my game.
Yeah, of course, go for it.
So, my captain is gone at the start of the season. He does the draft. We immediately get a replacement player on that, and I take over captaining. Our replacement player is a safe lane / off laner, and Hydro SK was planning on playing middle, I'm fairly certain. So that left us with me as off lane, Zoidberg as safe lane off laner in Sparky, Nugget Nick, who was a safe lane 4 position, and then Nutter, who was a 5. So we kind of just had to figure out who was going to go middle, because nobody's really naturally inclined to go there. And Zoidberg offers to play middle, and it's cool. That's fine. So we have success in the first game, and then we go in further, and the second series, we drop a game because we're doing shenanigans. But the scrims aren't going well. And
then you realize your third opponent is Riles, but Riles isn't going to be there. He has internet problems. What goes through your head then?
Yeah.
Do you think EU win with no Riles?
Okay. As soon as I found this out, I was like, well, we'll see if we can reschedule. I asked Zoidberg if his availability on Saturday is okay, because he's not able to make weekdays after 8 p.m. because he needs to go to bed. And he says he's not willing to reschedule at all for Riles. Because Riles kicked him out of his Discord server and rage quit in-house game. So there's that. So we get into the game.
Let me ask you, who was the mid laner of that Riles team?
Oh, that was Badger.
It was? It was
Badger who freaking owned, dominated on puck. Also, you banned out Faceless Void against me when I had no intention of playing that hero because of the RD2L Tiny.
That's the thing, as my captain Riles is telling me, ban Void, Auto's playing Void, don't give them Void. I was like, okay, I'll just ban Void out, since that worked out for us, though.
0% chance of me playing that hero because that hero is super feast or famine. So, we get most of the way through the draft. Our draft is looking okay. I asked Zoidberg what he wants to play for mid. And we have about a minute of reserve time at this point, and we're at the last banning phase. So I want to give him a good ban and then give him a good pick because we have last pick. So he says, I don't care. And he doesn't really offer me anything to go with here. So I keep pushing him, and he says Razor and Death Prophet going into an Axe and a Luna and a Puck, so your team kind of wants to do their fights pretty quickly. And these are all really long-term engagement heroes, which isn't great, but oh well. So we run out of time, and I pick the Death Prophet for him. And, yes, the game starts. I want us to do have the 4 position laning up against the Night Stalker. That never happens. It was just shenanigans all over.
And what was Zoidberg saying during that game as he was playing badly? Was there anything he was saying to the people?
Well, he was saying that he wanted to fight as a Death Prophet with Phase Boots, Magic Wand, and 1/2 of a Yule Scepter. Which, I mean, he wants to push down towers, that's okay. And then, we scout out your team coming in with multiple Blink Daggers that haven't been revealed yet. Your entire team, it's nighttime and you have Night Stalker. And I say, oh, get back, because our gyrocopter doesn't have a teleport scroll. So this is the easiest back decision that I've ever seen in a Dota game. It's 4v5, you have a big timing window. And he says, no, why are we backing? So then we don't back because he won't back, and then everybody dies, and you guys go on to win the game.
Alpaca, Redondo, did either of you watch this series?
No, I was actually playing this week. It was very exciting.
I watched the replay of the game 1.
Hey, Badger, I have a question. How did you end up with a Divine Rapier?
See, Gyrocopter buys a rapier, I think. Is it?
Yeah,
Okay,
Gyrocopter buys a rapier, and we all
SO
in on a push.
I decide, alright, so let's kill their heroes, and then we get a rapier. And I'm like, hey. Coop wanted the rapier so badly on Witch Doctor, I think. He was like, Badger, let me have the rapier. I'm like, no. That's my rapier. It's my divine rights. I won the mid lane.
That's a race, man. You just won the race.
That said, though, we then go into game 2. It's pretty similar to game number 1, if we're being honest here. We kind of just won the lanes pretty well. And you guys had a bit of a good showing behind your Batrider. But the problem is, you're playing Batrider. Despite winning the offlane 1v3, there's only so much you can do in that situation. In the very end, you guys end up losing that game.
Oh, again, it was like we get most of the way through the draft, and then Zoidberg says he doesn't want to play middle, but we've already got like all these picks done, and we could have swapped it around. That would have been fine if I had a heads up on it. But
That's really funny.
yeah, so we send a middle anyway. Say we can swap the roles around afterwards, and I didn't ban out PL Nakes because I'm pretty tired at this point because it's been. RD2 Tiny went to max games on every single game, and the first game I was kind of tilted from. So I'm a Batrider against 2 heroes in lane who both can dispel Napalm. So I'm trying to get us to go aggro instead and match up the Batrider against SK. And the laning stage turns into this shenanigan-filled, everybody's leaving their lane except middle lane.
So then, 35 minutes from then, you guys have lost Dota 2. What does Dr. Zoidberg do?
Well, there's one other good thing. Zoidberg was saying that he can't lane against 6.5 case.
Did he actually think that was Riles?
I'm not sure. He may have just been flustered, but considering that I know that he knew that Riles wasn't there because we talked about it before the game, talked about it well before the game when I was trying to get the match rescheduled, and we talked about it during the game. I don't know.
The thing is, after the game, he goes in the
Badger
Discord.
was just playing that well.
Like, he goes in the Discord afterwards, like, congrats, you can stomp players into casually, good for you, Riles. When he wasn't even there. He was not present.
Have you seen Badger? Have you seen your Dota buff? That was Bryles-esque, if I do say so myself.
I appreciate the compliments, but in calling me
Badger,
that, he will
Badger's
call both
actually
of
the
us
best player on that team.
We gotta boost his ego so that way they butt against each other and they implode from the inside.
Please do not implode my team. My captain's ego is big enough, and my ego is big enough. We introduced mine.
Half-dogs, if you're listening, you should be playing every game. You were incredible.
Like, I don't know why. Okay, that's why I'll speak briefly about Half-Dogs. Why did none of you pick him? We were the last pick in the draft that we picked him.
I am not a captain, but he didn't have any games played in the last month and a half before the draft, so I'm gonna go ahead and give some people the benefit of the doubt there.
So that's the one situations where if we end up being wrong, it's like, alright, whatever, it's our 6th pick. But the thing is, because we're right, we just get the gloat in your guys' faces, like we knew in the first place that he would be a good player.
Got that Maelstrom makes. Lucky you guys.
Alright, that's
what a great pick.
We're gonna be honest, I think that's enough making Autoattacks feel bad about the current state of his team. That said though, you guys are getting a new free agent, right?
Yeah, we've I have somebody picked out in that. I need him to respond on Steam.
Could you give us what does it rhyme with?
That's not really helpful for Dota names, come on.
No, who is it? That's what
it's
I'm asking.
Prodigy.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Alright, so let's move to the next team who actually is missing one of their players this week. Let's move into our man here, Alpaca. You were missing your captain. What happened there?
He had homework to do.
Shut the fuck up. Are you serious?
Yeah, it was due at midnight or something. And
Jesus.
So we're like, alright, that's not me. So then he got us this sub. And yeah, so yeah, that game 1 was a little bad. I drafted and I did a shit job of drafting. Felt like I drafted us into a corner because only decent lane we had was SF mid.
You picked Troll Warlord in 2018. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so we had like 3 seconds left of our reserve time, and I was last picking a carry for me. And I don't remember what the other hero I was thinking. Oh yeah, Gyro. I was going to pick Gyro. And someone said, no, pick Troll. So then I picked Troll, and I'm like, wait, I really wish I picked Gyro. So, but we were doing all right in the lanes, but they just came out of the lanes better. Their DK was farmed as fuck because I gave him a good lane against a Clockwork. Like, DK against Clockwork is a pretty one-sided lane.
You maxed cogs in that lane, I'm sure, right? the old 1-4-1 build, right?
Something like that. Who knows?
He actually did not end the game with 4 levels in cogs. He was level 15. He had 3 points in cogs.
That was bad.
That's why he lost the lane?
Yeah. It's not like the Clock played bad or anything. It was just, I gave him a bad lane. So that's probably...
I mean, you can isolate DK and kill him with Battery Assault, I'm sure. Like level 3, level 5.
Yeah, you might need someone to rotate in, though.
Yeah. So, yeah. I looked at the picks, and it looked like the PA Lich that they first picked just kind of like threw you guys.
I mean... We were doing really well top. I had good CS in the top lane, but that Lich effect of just getting more experience, I don't know. It's significant.
Yeah.
Especially when we had 3 heroes top for so long.
Yeah, I think when you tri-lane against it, it's like super bad because Shay ends up hitting level 6 like way before you guys, and it's like such a big power spike for him.
Yeah, definitely.
So, just like on Phantom Assassin, obviously. It's the old Shay Doctor special, though.
So, Alpaca, you lose game number 1 to Lich. Game number 2, you do not ban Lich. What is going through your head when they first pick Lich again?
I don't care about the Lich. I'm going to shit on the lanes. We had really strong lanes that game. And the biggest problem... I mean, like, let's see a graph of this. I think we had a pretty significant lead, but we just couldn't close out the game. I mean, I think it was because no one really calls shots on my team. We kind of just play.
What?
And hope for the best, honestly.
You have people muted or something? I don't believe you.
That's pretty much my team as well.
Yeah, it's just we kind of play Dota, and it just happens, you know?
Really?
So no one was calling shots and telling this Abaddon to go hit the tower because he needed to be our frontliner so we could siege high grounds. But no one was telling him that, and I don't know, we just kind of didn't think of that, and then we ended up kind of throwing.
Is Siebel just like really quiet? I have a lot of games played with Siebel. That's why
he's not quiet or anything.
I'm buddies with him. Like,
I mean, he does call shots, but it's not like there's not like one decisive voice on the team who calls all the shots. You know,
I was gonna say,
like if you play with Riley, you know, he's a shot caller.
Nah, Riles does not micromanage his team, call any shots. He definitely doesn't expect you to follow any shots either. Nah, he's a very laid back player.
Why'd you play support Tiny Duncan?
Oh, I mean, I like support Tiny. I mean, I gave it to Paprika because he's been playing it in pubs. He wanted it. It's not bad or anything. It's a pretty strong support in lanes and out of lanes in the mid game. It's just in the late game, it kind of doesn't have the impact that a normal support would have.
Oh, the hero's ownage. Like, you just blink it and toss them out, and then you force staff yourself away.
Yeah.
Is that like, are you happy with the Timbersaw pick? I suck at Timbersaw. So
I love Timber. So I just understand that if you play Timber, that you have to secure its farm or make sure it has a good lane. Like, it's not an off lane hero; it's a core hero, and you have to make sure it has a good lane. And that lane, we had a great lane. I was free farming. Sven was getting nothing. We just kind of threw.
No. Like, it's less that, like, I get that you need Timbersaw that would start. It's just, as a non-Timbersaw player, if you ask me, hey, do you want to play Timbersaw with farm into Legion and OD, I would probably say no.
Yeah. I mean, I've played that matchup so many times. Like, OD is probably the most picked counter to Timbersaw.
Yeah, that's why.
More so than, like, Ursa and shit. So I'm just kind of used to playing against it. So it's not, like, that big of a deal.
Okay.
But the problem in our draft was when they had their BKBs, they were so strong, and we just couldn't do anything about it. So we wanted to end the game before they got those BKBs out, but just didn't happen.
So that is a good talk about that series. I want to move into the last series that one of us did play in this week, and that would be the... we have talked about 2 series so far between 2 teams who were at the time near the top of the division. And we will be headed towards the opposite area of the division.
Wow.
Just for a brief talk about New Solitude versus Malachi. Sort of a match between two teams with, I believe, 0 wins going into this, correct?
I had a bye the previous week, so I count that as a W, honestly.
I just want to have a brief idea about what was it like playing 0-5. I mean, you were 0-3. You had 0 wins in your second game. How did you feel playing Shaker in that last game, going super far off and then having it not be ticketed?
Okay, that actually kind of pisses me off because nobody's ever gonna pick me in fantasy, and that was like the only that game and the game before because I got a bottle on Underlord because I was 1v1 against Adusa. Like I picked up a lot of bounty runes and I was like, oh cool, I'm gonna have a lot of fantasy points. I wonder how many fantasy points I'm gonna have. And then fucking Malachi's like, oh, I didn't ticket the game. So that was pretty disappointing. But Earthshaker is one of my best heroes, I'd say. I don't play it as much as I used to. I used to get it first pick for me back when I was playing competitive in Dota 1. So I feel really comfortable in the hero.
One of the reasons why I did bring this series up is because I want to transition it into a bit of interesting topic between what I call the inner team struggles for Malachi. Malachi came out with some accusations against his core player style that he was being boosted in Russia. What are your guys' thoughts on this whole Malachi versus style drama?
I was unaware of these accusations.
I'm gonna say this, and I've thought about this, and this is my conclusion. If he is claiming that style is boosted to Divine 0, I'm gonna just ask the people: would you rather have style at Divine 0 or Malachi at Divine 2?
That's actually kind of a note to leave on. Wow, I'm not even going to say anything else there.
Right.
Holy crap. That said, though, I do want to move into another one of the higher-end series of the game. Let's talk about the Shmeezy, a.k.a. No Sana No Life, versus the 420 Gucci Gang series. This was a pretty convincing 2-0, actually, on the side of Shmeezy's team. Any of you guys end up watching this series? Or I guess none of us did because we were playing it, but did anybody see the replay?
I think I watched a little bit of it.
I looked at the Dota buff.
Middle Rubik from number 2 draft.
Oh yeah, I saw this game. Yeah.
What have you guys thought on this mid Rubik?
Mid Rubik is actually good. It's one of those things that seems like a meme, but it's not. It's really powerful in lane, and clearly he's a good team fighter. And now with the null field change, you can farm fast because you do more damage with all your spells. So you can flash farm like you're a Lina or something. So I think it's not even memey. It's really good.
You've always been able to flash farm on Rubik because you just a second AoE damage spell.
Yeah, but now you can do it with literally only your zap. Just because of how much damage it does. And you can get the Talon at 10. I think it's really good. And clearly it's pretty good because Arteezy spams it in his pubs.
Yeah. I know Skip's been playing it a lot in pubs. I ran into over the weekend. He was playing mid Rubik on my team, and he added me and talked about it a little bit. He thought it was really good, but
not only is it good, it's fun as hell too.
No, it's fun as fuck. Rubik's my most played here.
Yeah.
I agree.
Everybody wants to play Rubik. That goes so fun.
Yeah, especially with farm. It's shitty to play it as a 5. That's why every Rubik player is well, I play 4 Rubik. I don't play 5 Rubik.
Yeah.
you want your mobility items and shit. I don't know about the Rubik.
The X is such a huge power spike with the cooldown on spells.
Oh yeah, dude, it's
necessary now.
Yeah, I think how I think about Dota is I'd always rather have a better late game than the other team, and I don't think that's true with Rubik. Just innately, it's how often do you buy a BKB on Rubik or whatever? I don't think the hero is good enough mid to play, or good enough in the early game and mid game to warrant being picked, even though it is really good in the early and mid game. It's just personal preference, so I think it's playable. But I think Treat Yourself and Skip are a really, really underrated duo. I think Treat Yourself is borderline first round pick. I thought he was really good last season, and he's been good in the 2 games they've played.
I think they're at 4 games now.
Yeah, the second game, he wasn't there against Goa Hitley or
That was the Goadle series with the other Jumbo last week. I remember that now.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, I don't think he was actually there for either game, or he was there for one of the games or something, so they had a stand-in, but I don't know. Skip's fucking good. He's underrated. This team's like low-key really good, I think.
I mean, these guys are the only team that is 4-0 right now. What is your read on this team overall?
Nobody's 4-0. Oh wait, no, they're 4-0.
Yeah, they're 4-0.
I mean, I don't think the thing is like I don't know Dew very well, and I know he's their third-round pick, or yeah, he's their third-round pick. So like, and Shmizi's playing a brand new role, and I don't know how good he is at that role. I think he talked to me in private, and I'm sure he's okay with me sharing this because this is mostly making fun of myself. But he said something along the lines of, "I'm going to try to mimic your style, where I just die in the off lane a lot." So I really appreciate that, Shmizi. It means a lot that you try to die a lot in the off lane like me.
Nice. That said, though, we do have some more topics to get into. This one actually being another one of the huge blockbuster series of last week. That being the Mikkel versus Nutty Pizza series. Mikkel was having a very good series. I mean, 20-0, 13 on OD, and he was leading at one point on pretty good numbers on Storm Spirit. What are your guys' thoughts on this geographically challenged team, captained and starring Mikkel Boda?
Didn't he dodge the 1v1 matchup against
I was going to say, he got 0 CS in the mid lane, so I'm pretty sure he actually lost this matchup.
He did technically dodge Shadow Fiend, but it is a Shadow Fiend. Do you really want to lane against Shadow Fiends? I don't want to lane against Shadow Fiends.
Is it OD?
He just I don't know about the pick order, but like he definitely just dodged the matchup. I don't know.
They first overall picked Shadow Fiend. Like, come on.
I mean, I honestly, as somebody who plays mid occasionally, I cannot blame him for dodging Shadow Fiend. It is not fun to lane against Shadow Fiends.
Okay, that's true. I do respect your opinion as the best mid laner on your team. So.
You're gonna trigger Ryle so hard with that.
I'll take your word for it. I do like seeing the improvement we see from Dark's team. They're now first overall banning Sniper. I think that means a lot for their team moving forward. Being able to not have to deal with that anymore.
I mean, actually, I watched a good bit of the series. What were your guys' thoughts on Dark's Death Prophet in game number 2? Man went for a Blink Dagger on Death Prophet.
Okay, like, I'm sure if you ask Mikkel and if you like watch the game, I'm pretty sure he like threw, but there was this play that I talked about where it was like at the Dire Cliff, it was the Radiant Cliff in between the two T2s. And Dark like blindly cast silence over the cliff, hit the Storm, who had like no fucking reason to be there, and like Dark's ult was going off, and he just like blinked over the cliff and just murdered him. And that was I felt like that was like a really big turning point actually. I think right after that was after Storm had died with like 30 Bloodstone charges or something ridiculous. So like he instant spawned, came back, died again, and then Dark's team took or Nutty Pizza's team, sorry, took Roche like immediately after that, and they ended up winning the game because Mikkel kept rolling in while his BKB was down, or just like not BKBing before he got cheaped. I don't know. Dark's on this like weird Death Prophet binge lately.
It's a good hero.
Is it? I don't think it's a dark hero. That's like why I'm all surprised. Like I guess like if he goes fucking Blink Dagger, it's a dark.
That's like it's a good laner, good at taking objectives, pretty durable. It's kind of like a DK, but I think it's better. I don't know. I like it.
It's a DK, but it's more fun to play.
I would much rather be
DK deals damage more slowly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's a dark hero. It's just I'm surprised he's playing it so much. But oh well, whatever. Let him play what he wants to play. I'm still pretty sure Mikkel's seen through game 2. If you ask anyone.
Overall, though, another 1-1 for Dark's team. They're now at 4-2. This is 2 more losses than they had last season, despite only being 6 games in. What is this team's forecast going forward, being only 4-2?
I mean, I think they're still fine. Like a lot of teams. The thing is, like last season we had, we had a couple undefeated teams this early in the season, but like this season we have a lot of teams. Like it's a lot closer. So I mean, they're still like in the top third of the season. I don't think they're worried. Like if they were like 3-3, I think they're worried. But 4-2, you're fine.
3-3 is worried? Oh no.
Yeah, 3-3, you're fucked, man. You got no chance. Might as well quit. Might as well quit.
I'm still beating out your predictions for me. Predicted 0-2 every single week. Feels bad, man.
I think okay. To be perfectly transparent, the thing is like when I try to predict everyone's teams, it's largely based off of how, like for the first couple weeks, obviously, it's largely based off of how I felt about your team immediately post draft. And your team, like, you didn't have that safe lane player. I don't know what you guys call him, but he was on the team as press F for Lil Peep. Sparky? Okay, perfect. That's easier to type. So, like, you didn't have him, and you had Hydro SK, I think, right?
Yeah.
And, like, I thought that, like, this new guy is so much better than Hydro SK. So, like, when I judged your team initially, I thought you guys were pretty, like, below average, I think is what I said. And then now you guys are way better. So I'm just going to keep predicting you guys to lose for a while. And then I'll figure it out.
On a bit of a tangent, Otto, how can you let me down like that? I was talking so much praise for your team every single episode. Right. And then you lose to Badger middle lane. What happens?
I wasn't middle lane. I wasn't involved in that. I went first pick overall brew into Luna Witch Doctor Night Stalker, and your Night Stalker is pulling creeps at fucking 5 minutes. What is going on with that?
Oh yeah. That's just you know, I don't know what we were doing that game. We just played some Dota. It was great. It was fun.
It's funny. Like I remember Octane. I think it was Octane came on. He was like talking up the Autoattacks team too, and I was just like, I think I think you guys are fine. Like I just wasn't sold as this like. As you guys on, I wasn't sold on you guys as a like top 3 or top 5 team. Like I think you guys are going to be like one of those fringe playoff teams that if you get the right like matchups the last 3 weeks, you'll make it. If you don't, you might lose.
Well, we've also gone up against Nutty Pizza and Riles now, so that's like 2 of the teams that were predicted to go pretty highly.
That's true.
Those are 2 teams that are indeed pretty good at Dota.
That is a good point.
On the other hand, I haven't played with my new player yet, and we're doing more lane swapping. So okay. I don't know.
I was gonna say, unfortunately, against those teams, you have gone 1-2, but or 1-3. But what could you give us a sneak peek of what your lanes are gonna be?
Sparky's moving to middle is what we're trying.
Okay.
Are you gonna play monkey mid?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm our drafter, and I have no idea how viable Monkey King middle is.
I just remember, like, the first week, I think he played Monkey King both games, and he just, like, crushed.
No, he only played it 1 game.
He played it once.
Juggernaut in another one.
Oh, yes.
It's good against Storm Spirit.
There you go.
What isn't good against Storm Spirit, though? Come on.
That said, though, we are going to move into our last series of last week I want to talk about. That being the Gucci Gang X25 team versus Team Wipe. So they actually end up getting a pretty solid 2-0 win here. I mean, Alpaca, you guys actually ended up playing against Artie Boy's team week number 1. What are you guys' thoughts on them as an overall team?
That was our first... Oh, God.
Yeah, that was that series.
Oh, boy. I got
150-minute game.
Ooh-wee.
Do you respect their resilience, or are you just mad that they dragged that game out that long?
In hindsight, it was pretty fun. You know? I think they could have just GG'd out, because they had no win condition. Literally none. But, you know, no problem. Just some dudes want to play Dota. No big deal. Second game was, I don't know, kind of easy.
That said, though, they had 2 more losses this week. They're off to a pretty rough start to the season. I believe they're 2-4 now, right? Redondo?
Yeah.
So who'd they take a series against?
I don't remember. They won their second series 2-0. Let me...
Oh, I'm looking this up, too.
No, is it on d2l.com down?
No, it's
it's
up.
back up again.
Oh, okay. Well, shit, that makes life a lot easier.
All right, they played against Malachi week number 2.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I knew it was like a bad game, so
yeah.
Not impressive. I think, like I said, I've said this a couple times. I think another point to make about this team is I think they're a little too, like, with Artie Boy and Hitagi, I think you need one of those two players to do, like, it's just hard because I don't know how good I don't think their offlaner's, like, exceptional or anything. I don't think, like, I think you need one more do shit player on this team, and, like, the two best players on the team aren't really, like, they're much more, like, take up the space and, like, be efficient with that and make good decisions late game and take good fights mid game than trying to go, like, win the game for the team in 20 minutes. I just don't know if, like, the duo works.
That said, though, what are your guys' overall thoughts on this Gucci Gang team? I mean, it has pretty strong cores in Wii/Yusoi Carry. They have OK. They have Killer Karate out of the offlane. They have a pretty underrated 4 with Pond out of the 4 support role. Is this a team that will be good in the future?
Who were they missing when we played them? Do you know?
Rice Boy.
Rice Boy?
Yeah,
so what position does he play?
He was their mid player, and he was actually standing in for Go Ahead's team. I mean, you guys played him week 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was standing in on a Smurf for Go Ahead's team. He got banned, and then they replaced him with OK, who was on, I don't remember the team, but the team that disbanded immediately with Rupity on it. And OK is like Divine 1, maybe Divine 0. Like I think he's a little bit better than Rice Boy. Like I think this team's really good. I think they had like a 3K stand-in for Rice Boy.
I mean, the games that we had against them were like sort of close. They weren't stomps or anything.
Yeah,
First game was like they definitely could have won that game, but they just relied completely on team fight because they had like a Void, Tide Hunter, OD, Naga, and Rubik. So we had Lone Pure Tiny. We just literally split push them to death.
Yeah,
they had no answer to it. And second game, we just kind of picked Razor when they picked PA, and then all of a sudden you just win the game because PA is completely countered by Razor.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, like I think when they played you guys, if I remember correctly, they played. We played middle. Killer Karate played safe lane, and then I think they had a stand-in off lane, or one of their supports played off lane. Like they changed all their roles around. Like I don't think that was a good representation of how good that team is. Like I actually think they're really good.
That said, though, we have to talk a good bit about this given week, but I want to move into next week. So we got some pretty exciting series next week. Some of the series top of the division, some towards the bottom of the division. But I want to start with one towards the middle of the division. Autoattacks, you guys are playing Ricer's team next week. What are your thoughts on this Ricer's team you're playing up against?
Well, I haven't looked into them that much, so not a whole lot.
Glad you did your research before the game. Before you go on.
We're just gonna do our game.
I think Autoattacks team. Okay, or I think Ricer's team. Sorry, I'm gonna give you a 20-second. This is how you beat this team, or this is helping you to beat this team. You first ban Huskar, you second ban Earth Spirit, and you third ban Naga.
All right,
you're welcome.
Nice.
You basically copy what Octane did last week against Ricers, and I think that's how you beat them. I don't know. Ricers seems like I think everyone's really solid. Like I think everyone's a above average player. I just don't think they have like the outplay you type players. Like I don't think they have the like top tier talent. And that's just kind of like that's a little bit based on the heroes that they pick for themselves, and that's a little bit based on like the players themselves. I don't think like anyone's gonna wow you with one particular like a storm game or something. I don't know, like some fucking like Invoker, for example.
Hey, Redondo, you predicted them to once again lose 0-2 to Ricers.
Correct.
Well, and in addition, Sparky isn't going to be able to make the game because it's going to be a big country.
0-2 coming up.
Never mind.
Okay, to be fucking fair, I didn't know that they had a mid. Like, I knew their mid player quit. So, like, what do you want me to do? And like, I always talk about Ricer's team as being like pretty good. So, I think it's a perfectly reasonable prediction. I think it's a pretty close game if you had Zoidberg like playing normally, but without him, you know, I think Ricer's is a little bit better. I'm sorry.
So I just love this opportunity because, you know, as an analyst of the division, you make a lot of different statements, and eventually some of them are going to be wrong. And I'm in the perfect situation where I talk to you on voice for about 75 minutes per week. I have the perfect opportunity to bust your balls every single week. It's perfect.
I know, it's awful. It's okay. Like, it's weird. Like, a lot of people are on this like weird train of, oh, I hope you predict me to lose 0-2 next week. I hope you predict me to lose 0-2 next week. And I get like 65% of the predictions right. Like, I have a pretty good handle on the division. Like, I don't get where this like weird I hope he predicts against me train comes from. Not you guys, but like I know Octane and Zam have been saying that. I think Loves too, maybe.
That said, though, speaking of Zam, another series next week is Zamox is going to be playing up against the Huncho Jack team featuring our main man here, Alpaca. What are your thoughts going into the series, Alpaca?
I don't know. I saw you guys play them and wasn't really impressed by any of their players, to be completely honest.
What is your plan to counter out Zamox's mid lane? I mean, this is a guy who did draw 1-to-1 up against Styles. What is your plan?
Well, he's probably going to put his best mid laner in the mid lane, unlike your team, so...
Alright, wait. Who played PL in the game against
That was
you
in
guys?
the Oxus.
That was him?
Yeah.
Alright, well, he did everything wrong, so I'm not
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being honest. In that matchup, you max your E, maybe you get a second point in your Q,
Sniper, and
then as soon as you get like your 6, you can kill the sniper nonstop. And he was just not doing any of that. He was playing so passively. So
I
mean, that's like the thing that I fear in Dota matches is like core players who know how to take advantage of an easy lane instead of just sitting back. And it just seemed like he didn't do that. So I'm not concerned.
Wow, big talk.
We
were no problems
during that game. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. That said, though, Zamox says if there's one thing he can do pretty well, it's draft. Do you have any plans in the draft to deal with him? Do you plan on banning out his signature sniper?
I mean, maybe. I haven't even talked to my team about the series. I don't think we're too concerned. I think we're just gonna play our game. We thought too much about like dealing with when we played Shade Doctor last week. We thought too much about like dealing with their heroes because we knew they liked like Razor and Clockwork. So we made sure to ban the Razor and then like picked ourselves a Clockwork to deny it from them. But then it didn't really matter because they just played other heroes. I don't know. I think you just need to focus on playing your own game when you're drafting.
Except for Autoattacks, you definitely need to ban those 3 heroes I mentioned.
I'm just hoping you write it down, because, if you don't follow heroes, he will specifically mention it in the PPP, and like 17 people at least will read that.
What if I ignore it and I win?
I will continue to berate you for probably a week and a half. I just think, okay, so like, Ricer's legitimately all last season, first phase picks, he'll first pick something, when he has first pick, he'll first pick something, give the other team 2 picks, and then he picks Huskar, and then bans AA immediately after, like in pick, I think like 9 and 10. And like he did that every fucking week. And like I was just like, every week I'd be like, I don't know why people aren't banning this, I don't know why people aren't banning this. And, like, it's so weird that he's so like weirdly good at Huskar. Like into like as many counters as like you get to pick 3 heroes into Huskar and you like lose. It's just strange. And then Boog's like stupid good at those 2 heroes that I mentioned. So
Spirit Vessel is in the game now, though.
I know, but and he was awful when he played Huskar this season. But I still think he can. I don't know. You could play it if you leave it in, he will pick it, and I wish you luck.
That said, though, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the last game next week involving one of our offlane players here. That is Jakku versus New Solitude, aka Redondo's team. I mean, Jakku's team does have one more win than you, Redondo. Do you think? I mean, you put in your pre-PP, you predict your team to win 2-0. But let's be real here. Safe lane player to offlane player, do you think you have a chance there?
Of course, he's got a mid offlane player playing mid. We always have a chance. I got a mid player playing mid. That's definitely more ideal, right?
Let me ask you though, what is your plan to deal with Jakku in the draft?
Okay, so I don't think. Like I think Alpaca mentioned it. You just kind of like play your game. I think against Jakku, you kind of just gotta play your game.
The thing with
he's
Jakku
generally
is you cannot prep for his drafts.
Exactly.
He'll pick any random hero, put in any random lane, and I mean, sure, he's 2-4 this season, but he's done it in the past to great success, though.
Yeah, I think you first phase ban like Abaddon Jug or something stupid. Like I think you just pick a player and like make their game bad against Jakku, and then like try to lane your way into making the other two people less successful. I don't think that. I don't know. I think it depends on where he puts patience. Because like if he puts patience against me, I think like I'll do okay. But if he doesn't put patience against me, I think I'm going to do really well against that team. So I think he kind of has to, and because he has to, I think our supports are good enough to win the other two lanes. And like from that, I don't know. We'll see. It's Dota, but. I think we got a good chance. You know, I think Ark's a pretty good player. Actually, he's the offlaner on that team. I think he's really like just all around solid.
Actually, on a bit of a tangential note, I actually want to ask you guys, how do you guys deal with these high ancient / divine caliber support players as an offlane player? Autoattacks. Well, what is your way of countering out some of the more elite support players in this division?
Who is a like high ancient support player in this division?
I was about to say the same thing.
To a pregnant girl, Harry Potter, Patience is Ancient 5. I'm sure there's other one player. I mean, Vavoda.
I don't think I've gone up against anybody in RD2L yet.
You're about to play against Vodal, who's I think really good.
You should be.
Well, I mean, just generally, you just try to find your farm when you're like playing a core against one of those supports, because eventually you'll get more farm than them, and then you'll have more impact.
All right,
like,
Alpaca.
there's a lot of pressure on the support player to put pressure on the enemy team.
Alpaca is also the same topic.
I don't know. I mean, it's not much you can do if their carry and both supports are like really good. You can abuse the supports if they're really bad, but if they're really good, then you just kind of have to suck it up and deal with it. If they leave lanes, which good supports will do, then you just have to take advantage of the time that you see them mid and go get some CS, fuck with a carry a little bit, then try to see when they come back to lane, play more defensively when they come back. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the thing about RD2L is that there's only so many good, like really good players on the other team. So if there's going to be one or two of them in your lane and you're an offlaner, like you just gotta trust in your teammates' ability to take advantage of that.
Yeah, their supports can't be everywhere. They have to choose if they want to sit bot all game or help other lanes.
Yeah, and I've only played against. I haven't played against a third-round pick support or better yet, and I 1v1 Malachi last week on both games. So
that said, though, another series next week that I'm interested in talking about is the one with Octane versus Riot, because both teams actually will be missing a player to the best of my knowledge. Octane will be missing himself. He will be doing some Octane stuff. I forgot what it was. And we will be missing our offlaner Watts in game number 1. Does this affect the outcome of the series?
Yes. I stood in for Octane's team as a stand-in a scrim once, and like I've played a couple of pubs with him, but I've never played I don't know. I guess I've never played where he's like exceptionally comfortable, like when it's his RD2L team, and I was really impressed by his ability to like. He dictated the pace of the game a lot. He said he was very talkative in the sense that he was asking his team like, okay, hey carry, what do you need to do next? Hey carry, do you feel comfortable doing this? Hey mid player, can you start farming this side of the map? And that was really surprising to hear from someone. I think he's Legend 5 now, Legend 4. I think he's Legend 4. And that was really surprising to hear from him, and really impressive, because that's something that it's very difficult to do for any player, let alone someone who's bossing around people that are significantly better than him on his team. So I think that takes away a ton of their order within the game.
Actually, it's a pretty interesting topic, actually, that Octane will be missing, because our two guests this week have actually lost their captains at some point in the season for at least one, if not all, of the games. What do you do, actually, in these series if you actually lose your primary shot caller and your primary player who's going to really call the game tempo? Do you just have to play more of a loose Dota style, or how do you adapt to that?
Well, Honcho Jack's not too much of a shot caller, but felt like we missed out on him drafting game 1. He's a good drafter. Like I said, we kind of don't have a primary shot caller on the team. We just kind of play, and everyone kind of calls shots whenever. So it wasn't that big of a deal. I don't know. Felt like we just missed out on him drafting us good lanes game 1, because sometimes my drafts are questionable.
Drafting yourself troll when it's not in your hero puddle.
No, dude, I play troll a lot. I used to spam troll back when troll was considered OP as shit. So I can play the hero. You just had a shit lane.
That's 34 months ago, dude.
Yeah. So he's not too changed now. I actually didn't know they changed the buttons on his axes. So now
that was super hard to deal with the first
time.
So
I saw that. I was like, what the fuck? Why would you do that?
Yeah, that really, really bothered me when they made that change. I was kind of lost as a player.
There's no point.
It just felt so unreasonable, yeah.
It's not like you can use the ranged axes when you're melee.
I mean, I guess you can't even queue them up, like the shift queue, because the button is unusable until you shift forms.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
Hey Badger, how many times did you kill yourself as Morphling when you morphed the wrong way?
I think it was... I don't remember. It was a bad series, though. Cause I was like, alright, I'm strength morphing. Yeah, wait, no, I'm agility morphing. I'm gonna die again.
That was the couple days after that patch was so much fun playing against Morphling players, because they would just basically kill themselves to any hero that ganked them, because they'd just immediately lose all their health because they'd shift agility. I know Atagi played it a bunch of times, and he killed himself doing it too.
You get this muscle memory of playing a hero.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Year after year after year, and suddenly they just change the buttons. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have some problems here.
Yeah, and it's not like Dota 1 where there's a bunch of different buttons. It's you're pushing the same buttons. It's just they do the opposite things. So
oof, that's bad memories, man. Not cool. Not cool.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do that on a weekly basis with all the carry players.
Man, not cool, Redondo. That's discriminatory, man. I'm outnumbered here. You guys
if they could make Metamorphosis on Q or something, or W, that'd be great. Could you imagine?
Dude, actually, that'd make me happy, because I'm not playing much Terrorblade right now, and all these mediocre TV players would just start losing games to me at big rates.
Why don't you play a lot of Terrorblade? That hero's broken, man.
I don't like playing the super broken heroes. I mean, I don't like playing Lycan TB this patch because they're both very good at Dota. I'm more of a CK type player. It's a bit more fun to play, to be honest.
No comment.
I agree with you. It's way more fun playing the heroes that aren't broken.
Yeah,
you don't feel like the hero won the game. You feel like you won the game.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree. I'm going to keep playing Tiny offlane.
I'm going to disagree with you guys, too. I like winning games, and when it's easier to win the game, I don't mind.
I'm surprised you say that, Autoattacks. You play offlane. When the fuck's the last time there was a broken offlane hero?
Well, I've been playing offlane since, Batrider wasn't nerfed. So,
yeah, so never, Like
Dude,
even
old
when
Bat Rider, like when he had his vision still, when he didn't get the vision nerf, that hero was sick.
Wait a minute.
Okay,
You remember like Slardar, Tusk,
Yeah,
6.85, like all these super broken offlane heroes. I remember this. I can say this because I remember dying to these heroes at like minute 4, 1v3. I'm like, what do I do? What's my counterplay?
Okay. There are levels to this shit. Those heroes are like not even close to when like Tinker or Storm were really good, or like that fucking Sniper Jug Troll.
Wait.
Those, like they're not even close to those heroes.
No. Old Bat Rider was that broken.
6.85 Tusk was so broken. I specifically remember like every other game playing against Tusk and being solo killed at like minute 4, and I'm like, please get me out of this Dota game. I have no counterplay. I literally played Queen of Pain Ember Spirit every game safely because I couldn't do anything else without dying. It was terrible.
Remember when Ember was broken?
During the patch with Shrines, too?
That was great. I love Ember.
Every offlaner used to love that patch when you started with like Shrine.
Yeah, that was really nice.
So with Shrine, you're just playing some hero that's impossible to kill, and then they finally get you low and you go Shrine.
You start PMS tangos on every fucking hero. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, PMS, and you didn't need to buy any like regen. You could just get one set of tangos because you had the Shrine. And then your like supports would want to come bot because you're like, yeah, we're just gonna battle, then Shrine up. It's gonna be chill.
Yeah, and then like you just like throw all your mana, and then like immediately just go Shrine. And you're like, all right, let's go again.
And the Shrine was literally right next to your tower too. That's before they moved it back.
And the Shrine on the opposite side was way further away too.
Yeah,
Shit.
those were the days.
I mean, the thing is, the Shrine's mid lane ruined mid lane then though, is because you get outplayed mid lane and like the Shrine's right next to the mid lane. It's like, oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Get the Shrine suddenly.
Seriously, those heroes are nowhere close to as broken as like Jug was way back in the day. Like Lycan.
I don't know. I mean, like broken offlaners, you can like first pick them. You know, you just first pick Slardar, and you're like, oh, there you go, got a Slardar. He's strong.
I think it's less pubby though. Like, how do you like? I get this like obviously easy-ish to like. It's obviously easier if you have a really good offline hero, but like it's not. I don't think it was as auto win as some of the other heroes I was listing.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it's about whether you get a good start on like an OP offlaner, I think, because like even right now, if you have Brewmaster, there's like no lane where it's like, oh, I have a Brew, I can't go into lane.
Brewmaster.
I'm gonna say like Rasta, Jug, and then some other stupid like Lashrak. There you go. There's a tough lane.
Yeah, but you just if you know that they're gonna tri lane you with a Rasta, you get one hero to come up and then with a stun, and then that hero just literally cancels shackles, and that's their only job in the laning phase.
Dear Lord, we have gone a bit off on tangent though. I actually want to cover a couple more series in the next week that is coming up. One of the more premier series coming up is actually the let's see here, the Yak versus Shmeezy series. I mean, Yak's team is 5-1, Shmeezy is 4-0. They have one combined loss actually. Who do you think is going to win this series? Redondo?
I said choo-choo, motherfuckers. I'm on the Yak train, so I think they're gonna win. I think the only difference is no. I think Yak's team's gonna win. Period.
Thing is, how do you trust in Yak with his hero puddle? That's the question.
There are only so many bans that you could possibly use on Dragon Knight or Razor. So, yeah. I think the thing is like if you ban against Yak, you give Shay a good lane, and like that's obviously not what you want to do. Like I don't know if Yak's Razor is like I know you guys banned it, but I don't know if Yak's Razor is like the most difficult thing to deal with. Like I don't think he's a support player, you know? Like he's good at Kunkka, he's not good at Razor.
You don't have to be good at Razor. You just pick him, and then you just become Razor. Doesn't take skill.
that may be fair.
Just in, like some quap off lane against it.
Okay, maybe like his second hero. Like there's like he's Dragon Knight. Like that's not. There's Sven, you know, that's not impossible to play with. Like you have to be like pretty good to like have a high impact Dragon Knight game. I think like every Dragon Knight's gonna do fine, but like very few Dragon Knights are like own the game. Like I think you care more about how Gohan and Shay do than Yak. I think the only difference is like between these games is that I think if Shmeezy's team can get Skip against not Shay, I think Skip is good enough to win a game 1v5. I think mid lane's kind of a wash with Treat Yourself versus Gohan. I think Yak supports are just better than Shmeezy's supports. Like I said, I don't do that well, but I like Mylan and I'm a big Guardian fan, so I don't know. I think Yak seems good. I've said it too many times. What do you guys think?
They were good.
It's hard to go up against Shea Doctor when you're coming up with predictions like this.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know too much about the other team, but Yak and Shea Doctor's team, they were pretty good. They played like together, and their cores were good. But the other team seems like they have pretty good cores.
Yeah, I think Shmeezy's 1-2 is really good. I don't know how good Shmeezy is as an offlaner. I guess.
That said, though, there is one more series I do want to talk about, and it's I mean, this is going to be one of the big grudge matches of the series for at least one of the teams competing. That is Nutty Pizza versus Donger Close. This is going to be the Niflheim versus Dark 1v1 matchup. Is Niflheim going to have a chance in this 1v1?
I'm going to let you guys answer first.
I haven't played with or against Niflheim, so I have no idea.
You're in for a treat when you have that chance. You are in for a big treat.
Highly suggest against. I think yes. I think a lot of people say no. I think the thing is that the variance is really high in the sense that either he beats Dark a little bit or he loses horrifically. I think he's the kind of guy that is going to really feed off of his own confidence. So if the first little bit of the lane it goes well, he'll be fine. He'll probably come out a little bit ahead if he gets a good start. But if he gets if Dark goes 4-3 or something in the first wave, I think he's just gonna get shit on. So I think it depends who gets last pick. I bet you Donger, or not Donger. I bet you Niflheim will play TA this game. One of the games. It's my fun prediction. Or there's just gonna be fucking supports middle.
That's, I mean, we've seen less supports middle than we have in the past, so at least there's not as many supports camping out.
All these good offlaners.
Oh yeah. That said, though,
all the whiny safe laners.
A little bit of both.
I actually want to talk a little bit about. I like to do this every single week because this is a pretty interesting topic. But this would be playoff predictions. Since we have two different guests on, I want to get both of their reads on who are the big dogs in the division. So the question is, I'll ask you first, Otto. What do you think are going to be some of the best teams come playoff time?
I mean, it's Riles, Yak, and Nutty Pizza's teams, right? Are the big three that I can think of. I don't know. It's hard to have predictions on this one. I don't know anything about some of the teams.
Alpaca?
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of the other ones, but I feel like Yak's team is probably a contender.
These guys should be on every week. I always get shit for picking Yak's team. It's really good, but I think they're awesome. Man. They're so good.
I do want to ask though.
Winning,
I want to ask about both of your teams first. With Alpaca, what do you think your position is going to be? Potentially a fourth in the division type team going to playoffs, or where do you think you guys are going to stand at the end of the season?
Well, we're going to try to win it, clearly. But, who knows? I haven't seen the rest of the teams in the division, so it's I don't know. I know the teams that I played against. I know your team and some of the teams you guys played against because I watched your games. But other than that, I don't know how good the other teams are. But, I mean, no one's, unbeatable. There's no, superstar teams who's stacked with all really good players.
I'm sorry,
all the teams have a weakness.
Autoattacks? Do you think your team can make playoffs, Otto?
I mean, maybe. I've got another new player coming in, so it's kind of hard to predict.
You guys are 3-3. You're basically out. So
I mean, I probably shouldn't be asking Redondo this, but Redondo, do you think your team can make playoffs?
Of course my team can make playoffs. Why wouldn't my team be able to make playoffs? We have 3 losses. There's 16 games, so 14 games for us. There's 14 games to play. We can go 11-3, make the playoffs.
Hey, you have 3 losses, but less wins.
Correct.
You're not. Okay.
We are in 22nd place right now, and I believe that we have the ability to make a run, I'm sure.
That said, though, I do want to uphold my predictions that my team is good at Dota.
So Badger, moving into this next week, are you gonna play Puck mid again, or are you thinking something else in the mid lane?
We're gonna have Riles play mid because Riles is good at middle lane, and then
I thought you guys were trying to take it more seriously now. I figured you'd put your best players in the proper lanes.
I mean, I might end up playing off lane for some reason because we're
Sure,
missing our off laner. I don't know what we're gonna do, honestly. That we're missing our offlane player, because either we're gonna have one player playing off role no matter what happens. It's either we stick Hef Dogs in the offlane or we stick like Coop in the offlane. It's no matter what we do. There's a non-offlane
pick
player.
Coop, put him on. Pick Coop, put him on Axe. He'll be fine. That's the play.
He's our 5 player. He needs to buy
I will say this: if there is a Puck middle, it will be Badger.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I don't
If it's a Puck middle, it will be Badger. Riles isn't going to play that.
Wow.
He plays a decent Puck. I mean,
No, he's alright on Puck, but he's going to be like, oh, my team can't carry. Get me out.
The problem is, like, despite Riles say, if I had to put like Puck on a list of best to worst heroes, it'd be higher on my list compared to Riles. But Riles is just better at Dota, so he's probably gonna have a better effect with the Puck middle.
You heard it here first, guys. Badger's a better Puck player than Riles.
Like, if I had the exact same skill and game awareness Riles did, I would be a better Puck player. But I don't have those 2 things. That's the difference between me and him.
Well, shit talking amongst your team. You think you'll be able to make it to the end of the season?
Oh my lord! Stop trying to get our team to explode. We're the only team that can beat the Monday teams. You have to put all your eggs in this basket immediately.
Yeah, right, dude.
But my team's 0-0 against Monday teams, which is probably a better record than a lot of other teams, so we have a chance.
We beat some Monday team in a pub when offlane Alchemist.
What the fuck?
It was a stomp, sort of.
You played offlane Alchemist, or they played offlane Alchemist?
I did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's strong.
I like...
Worth more gold. Alchemist earns extra gold off bounty runes.
Yeah, so I want to test this, but they just changed bounty runes so the whole team gets gold from. I want to know if you get bonus gold for your team getting them as well. Because that would be pretty dope.
Like 20 gold or something.
Yeah, it does say that it just increases the value of the bounty rune.
No, the initial bounty runes are worth 40, and he gets 2.5 of level 1 Grievel's Greed, so that's an extra 100 gold. Oh, no. It's not 2.5 times more. It's okay, yeah, so it's only an extra 60 gold, but that turns it into 100. And I think that's how it works. So I think you get 100 gold.
Does it increase the gold value for everybody?
Is that worth it?
Probably not. I don't know. I'm just trying to justify Alk offlane, you know?
This is every offlaner's dream, is just play the fucking greediest hero and actually have items.
I am the carry now.
That said, though, we're gonna move into everyone's favorite segment of the show. That is the Twitch chat questions. So we can get some nice, intelligent questions here. First question, lead up the Twitch chat questions. For both of you, Alpaca and Otto, how does it feel to be known as Riles Associates?
I'm gonna let Otto answer that one. Riley, how does it feel to be known as an Alpaca associate? How about that?
Does anybody ever call him that?
Who knows?
Calling them that. If you guys want to band together to be Alpaca associates, I can totally jump on board with that. I will spearhead that.
Can't be Autoattacks associates, huh?
You could be Alpaca Autoattacks associates. You could be like A to the 4th or something.
Yeah. High tier offlaner associates.
Quadruple A. There you go.
Riles is immediately saying too. He's like, I'm not an Alpaca associate. He's
Oh yes, you are. You can't escape me.
Alright, let's see here. What else do we have here? which mid laners does ET, as in ET the player, play to consider him not cancer? I mean, he said that Dark plays DP, but he's not cancer. So what are thoughts here about what makes a mid laner cancer? What heroes do they have to play to make them cancer?
Shadowfiend.
The OP heroes and spam only the OP heroes?
So basically Shadow Fiends.
Literally any conventional mid that's winning the game, you can call them cancer.
No, like, so, okay.
Well, actually, Tinker's pretty bad, too.
Tinker's fucking AIDS.
Yeah, like, what mid laner can you think of that isn't considered cancer?
Shadowfiend, Quap. Give me a second. Let me pull up the Dota heroes. Shadowfiend, Quap. Played like Magnus or something, but you're not gonna play that.
No,
shit.
everyone says Shadowfiend's cancerous. Quap's not so much. So maybe.
Okay, the thing about Shadowfiend is like it's very killable. Whereas like all the other heroes that are like that I think are super cancer are like impossible to kill, or like just like difficult. You know. So like if you play Invoker, if you play Puck, if you play Storm, probably if you play TA, Quap. I don't know. I think ET plays fucking cancer heroes, and I will continue to say that until he plays a non-cancer hero.
See, on a topic of middle lane though, is Coop has asked us if I had the 1v1 Riles, what matchup would I choose to beat them? I actually want to bounce this off you guys. How do you set up a 1v1 mid for me to beat Riles? What heroes do we need to play here?
You get Riley to pick Puck mid, and then you pick Necrophos and kill him level 1. That's what I did to him in a 1v1.
What?
Hopefully Riley remembers that. Yeah, it was Puck versus Necro level 1. I literally just ran at him with my Death Pulse and killed him level 1.
Alright. There you go.
So that's how it's done. But then I lost the matchup, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. I'd probably go for like, I might just go for like some weird-ass Puck 1v1 lane, because that'd be fun. I think I'd lose it, but I would enjoy it.
Play Coddle 1v1.
I don't want to play like some joke heroes. I don't want to play like, say, Shadowfiend versus Crystal Maiden or something, but...
No. Mirror matchups. You gotta, like, Huskar 1v1.
It's not a real game, dude, when you're playing Huskar 1v1. It really isn't. I don't want any part to do with that.
Do so 1v1. Whoever lands those max range snakes.
Oh, dear God. Alright, I'm done with this topic. This is terrible. This is degenerated so fast. That said, though, another interesting question is, who is the best player on an individual level that all of you have played with? Alpaca, I'm going to start with you. Is it Riles?
Like, that I play with regularly, or like how I ever played with?
I think regularly, yeah.
Let's go regularly, yeah.
Regularly? I don't know. I mean, I'm friends with all the... I play a lot of Dota with the, like, high-tier old Han players, like Casualist and Tau and those guys, Calcium. But yeah, I guess those are probably the best players in terms of skill. I played with Weeha for a few games.
Otto?
Generally, I mean, I've played with a lot of the higher level NA players. Versatis and Dreams I've played with on multiple teams. Played with Jurster, who's not that good anymore. Alien Mana Banana, who I have a positive win rate, a very good win rate with and against, so there you go. I mean, I played a couple of games with KBH, just like from randomly inviting to a pub because we had a 3-stack and they had a 2-stack.
It's pretty good. Redondo?
Worse than anyone they mentioned. No, I think the best player that I played with very consistently is Rixman. I think he's incredibly like overlooked for how good he is. I wish he pumped more, and I wish he would join the division, but he's working on Sundays or something now. He's an old RD2L guy. So, like, actually answer the question, it'd probably be Blitz. He used to play RD2L way back in the day.
Really? Blitz Dota played RD2? Huh.
Yeah. I remember he added me because I was, like, the only one to, like, 1v1 in mid or something. Like, not, like, 1v1, but, like, just play the matchup normally. And, like, I tell my players, like, we could put 4 people middle, but we're going to lose the game. So let's just, like, pick a good matchup and then go, you know, try to win everything else. So that was just, like, in-house and shit.
I mean, for me, the best player I played with for like more than one game would either be Villain, who currently plays for Blue Pikachu, or this guy called Frantic. It's like a 7K player. Played with he's playing I think with WWD right now. Solid player. Outside of that, though, guys I play with regularly, I'm gonna have to say it's Riles. Though I have to give a bit of a shout out to my friend Mashin. He's probably the second best player from Uzbekistan. Currently not playing too much Dota right now. Overall, very, very solid player. Have played with a good bit of him as well.
How do you meet someone from Uzbekistan? Is he like living in America or something?
Yeah, he lives in America right now. He comes for university. He plays some Dota, carries Badger. He goes away, starts playing Dota, focus on school. So I'm like, all right, I need a new 6K player to carry me. And I just get this 6K player Riles Dota randomly.
Then you sign up for RD12 and you're like, yep, that's how I win my pubs.
The thing is, I'm like going into RD2L and I'm like, all right, I need a good captain. I need to like, all right, who's the best captain? Oh, Riles. I'm gonna message him. I want to be on his team. And then he drafts me. All is great.
Oh, interesting strategy.
I mean, this is a strategy that any mediocre to decent player should do. Is find a couple captains, be like, please draft me. Give them like a job resume type thing of like, these are my skills. This is what I do. Please pick me. I am not a baboon. And they're gonna find out later you're an actual baboon, but you're on their team already. So the problem solved.
Okay, I do have a question for all three of you actually. What's that? Because all of you are, as far as I'm aware, you play a lot of party games, and I don't think you play a lot of solo queue games because both, like, I think all three of you actually signed up with like legend accounts and then eventually got like changed or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, actually all three of you. So what's the highest solo MMR you've ever been? We'll start with Alpaca, then go Autoattacks, and then we'll finish with Badger. Highest solo MMR ever.
I was 5.95, and then I like dropped to 5.7 something, and then I just stopped playing solo.
I was gonna say, did you just give up because you were so close to 6K?
Yeah, I was pretty close to 6K, but then I dropped to 5.7 something, and I was just like playing a lot of party games at the time, and I was just like, I don't really care about solo that much. I might get back into solo now there's medals and stuff, but
forever a 5K shitter, is that essentially what it comes down to?
Yeah, I mean, just the quality of the games and party games are so much higher because we play with a lot of high MR people, and like when we go unranked, we're always against like the highest that you can find, so it's just fun. I don't like playing, really shitty games of Dota. It's just not fun.
Autoattacks.
My highest solo MMR was a whopping 5.3K. I have less than 50 solo queue games total, I think. Because like I calibrated at 4.8 when it originally came out, then I left it forever.
See, the thing for me with these games is I'm just going to start immediately. I need to give a caveat is, if you look at my Dota buff profile, I believe it's 3,115.
It is something around that, yes. That is why I asked you to answer last.
It ended up being higher than that, actually. I ended up, I think, at like 3,950, but I never made it public. So I was like going to hit my 4K, and then I started getting these computer issues when I was going to go stream my road to 5K. I was like, oh, I can't play Dota. So for like 2 or 3 months straight, it was really hard for me to play Dota because like once every 2 games or 3 games I would crash. And at that rate, I would have to literally win every single game for me to not like lose the MR from abandoning. So that kind of killed my my journey. But I ended up not making it public when the change came out because it's a bit of a like, if you know me on a personal level, I like the little micro interactions people have. And if you lose a game to me, right, you look at my Dota buff, it's like, alright, this guy's 3.1k solo, I'm terrible at Dota. That's the feeling I want to instill in them now. It's great. It's a beautiful feeling.
I calibrated at like 2 point something way back when like rank first came out. Yeah. Oh. I mean, to be fair, I started playing Dota on a like 2008 MacBook Pro, and I had to like set up a virtual machine because I didn't have it for Mac yet.
Yeah, I did that too, actually.
Yeah. So it would like what he said, it was crashing every like 3rd game. And that's how I got into Dota. And
I remember I was really bad at using my computer. So like I didn't know how to like disable a trackpad. So like every now and then I'd like click something random on the trackpad, I'd just like fucking die. It was really frustrating in StarCraft. I'd be like doing ZBZ and I'd be like microing Zerglings, and all of a sudden I move my mouse and just like die in the game. Quit.
Freaking bronze players, man.
Yeah.
SMH.
I was top 8 diamond actually back in like Wings of Liberty.
Bronze players.
What were you? What'd you play?
I was literally a bronze player.
Oh, okay.
I played random. I was actually like a bronze silver caliber player. I was terrible at that game, dude.
Yeah, I calibrated at like 3.8, I think.
You guys didn't just play random custom games?
No, I'm super competitive. I wanted to play. I wanted to like climb the ladder and shit.
Redondo, what are your thoughts about ET calibrating? I mean, apparently it's a story you enjoy. Where did ET calibrate, MMR wise?
Okay. I'm trying to figure out like what, like I know exactly where you calibrate. I'm just trying to like figure out what the meme is here, because he's like 5.1 party, and I think it's like 3.4 or something like that. Or like he's like a 5K party player and a sub.
Actually, is this lag on your end or is it lag on my end? Alright, then I'm gonna call this right now, because we're kind of at the end anyways. My name is Badger. If you can hear me through the static, then thank you for watching. Have a nice night, folks.